Hi, I'm Jeanne Fiorini. Thanks for being here at the Tarot Tips. I'm enjoying hearing from subscribers and understanding a little bit more what it is that people want to learn a little bit more about. It provides me with, places to go here that I know are going to be of interest to people. So I enjoyed this particular comment and question. And the idea that we're going to talk about today is what are the minor arcana cards that have specific threads of connection symbolically or meaning-wise to cards in the majors. So what major and minor tarot cards kind of go together in their in their import, potential meaning in a reading. So we're going to go to the tarot table and take a look at a few examples. Like anything else that I'm going to talk about in the tarot tips, these are, just suggestions, or these are just things as they occur to me. It doesn't mean that they're the right thing or that they're the only thing. So as we're talking about them today, keep in mind that there's probably a case to be made for connecting any major arcana card with any other minor arcana card if you came up with the right, not the right, but an appropriate thread of connection there. So having said that, let's go take a look at a few combinations that are pretty obvious. We're going to start this comparative analogy exercise with the Lover's card. Even though the image shows us images of partnership, I like to think of the Lovers more as about commitment to something, supporting your will with your decision, with whatever your decisions are, putting your money where your mouth is, paying attention to what attracts you in your life. The somewhat obvious correlation here is the Two of Cups. Even again, if we take off the notion of partnership, see if I can get that glare off there. Well, okay, I guess we'll just have to leave it like that. Even without the idea of partnership here, I want you to think about the Two of Cups as what is drawing me, what is calling to me, what makes me feel in balance in my life. Both of these cards have that idea. We have the opposites coming together. We have the angelic force, the power of attraction, almost like a magnetic angelic force bringing together these two polarities. So to see those two cards next to each other or in the same reading really is going to validate that certain idea for your client. We could take a look at the Star card. Now this is something that started happening for me early when I was doing readings, that I would see the Star card in a reading, and almost in the same breath sometimes I would see the Two of Wands. And it's really become a remarkable coincidence for me that these two cards seem to have some sort of invisible thread between the two of them. Both of them are about thinking about the future in optimistic ways, in creative ways, in authentic and true ways, and in very expansive ways. What the minor arcana card says, the major arcana says in an exponential kind of way. So keep an eye out for where those two cards might show up together in a reading. We could look at the Moon card. And I picked out the one card that to me was the most resonant with the Moon card, although I think we could probably make a case for others. I chose the Seven of Cups. Whether we're looking at, I'm going to try to get rid of that glare, whether we're looking at the positive or the negative side of the Moon card, we see its counterpart in the Seven of Cups. We see confusion. We see an inner process. We see water. We see the power of the unconscious or of the inner planes or of the enigma really that exists in the inner life in both of these cards. So to see, you know, if you have 10 cards out in a layout and 2 of them are these, it's really going to give you the idea, reinforcing the idea that there is a lot that is unknown. And it might be a seeking of, or a subject to the power of the unknown with cards like this. Very much a mystery going on with both of those cards. On the opposite side of the spectrum, we have something that isn't a mystery. That's the Justice card. Clarity, decisiveness. Her counterpart, and again, you could make a case for a couple of others for sure. I chose the King of Swords. Both of these are ruled by Libra, so you have that connection there. Visually, they're very similar. Both of them strong personalities sitting in pretty rigid chairs with heavy swords. Swords of truth. Swords of things that are black and white. So, you know, those two together really support the notion of let's get clear, let's get to the point, let's say what we mean and mean what we say. The Devil card. Because this is such a complicated card, I really had trouble picking just one card that could be if you want to call it, lower vibration of the Devil card. One of them could be 5 of Pentacles. Here we see this, I'm going to kind of go like that. Here we see this reinforcement of lack. Here we see this destitution and this powerlessness that's in both of those cards. Let alone visually, they're both kind of black and white and a little dreary. We could also, with the Devil card, perhaps look at 7 of Swords and say, if you know, if those are the energy of something that's around me, that is very manipulative, very sneaky, very not truthful, very much about talking out of one side, both sides of your mouth at the same time. So there's a lot of complexity and illusion and misrepresentation in both of those cards. I think I have one more for the Devil. Yeah, King of Cups. So one of them being a Pentacle card. So security issues that are not working in a favorable way for us. Swords, communication, thoughts, truths being hidden from us. And now with the King of Cups, we get emotions, emotional manipulation. This is guilt. This is who sends you on a guilt trip? Who makes it sound like it's all about you, but it's really all about them? You know, that isn't to say King of Cups is a bad card or that the Devil is a bad card, but when you get those two together, very mistrustful combination. The Fool card. I think of the Fool, you know, love the Fool card, card 0, you know, the Source card in some ways, and in a little bit more, even though the Fool really is never personal, the Fool being that spark of life. And so I chose the Page of Wands to go along with the Fool here in terms of a minor arcana, major arcana connection. And when you put them together like that visually, especially in this deck, you really see the similarities. The background is similar, the clothing is similar, the way the face is lifted up to the sky is similar. They both have feathers, so there's a lot of spontaneity. Minor arcana, major arcana way of saying, let's move through the world, or we are moving through the world with abandon, with trust in our creativity, and that somehow everything's going to be just fine. So off we go. Death card. We're going to end this little session here on the Death card. You know, most of us understand that the death card is not about physical death, but it's about closure. It's about endings. It's about one form, and that's why the Emperor is on the ground here, one form having outworn itself and the new form not yet having manifested itself. So the death card is a transition card. So I think primarily I like the Ten of Wands with this one, because the Ten of Wands is done carrying something. The death card is done carrying something, either a way of thinking about oneself, or a position that we've had in life, or some sort of construct here. Both of those are about letting go. We also could throw in the Ten of Swords in there, letting go mentally, saying a thing is done. Done is done. You know, when I'm done, I'm done. And truthfully, I think death card as well as the world card could be associated with any of the tens, in that all four of those cards. So the death card, the world card, plus the four tens, Ten of Swords, Ten of Wands, Ten of Cups, and Ten of Pentacles, being cards of fulfillment, saturation, closure, and the eventual need for something new to come and take its place. So, you know, it's like a big, the tarot's like a big round piano with resonances and strings and threads connected in many, many different directions. So hopefully those things will help you and give you some extra information as you're doing your readings. Thanks for being here. We'll see you next time.